Here we go. Make sure that's okay. How's it going? I'm sipping on that tea. What do I got? I got kombucha green tea I'm sipping on. And I put a little cayenne pepper in it. I don't have a cough or anything, but I don't know, it gets me feeling alright. I had to leave work like 30 minutes early, maybe 45 minutes early, because I had like a panic attack or something, or anxiety. It was something, but I hope they don't fault me for that. They said they were cool with it and that I can just go home, and so I did. And when I got here, and this was only about like an hour and a half ago, I made me some a hot bath. On the way here, I had them boil water. Our water gets hot. There's nothing wrong with our water, but I like the bath hot enough to where the skin melts off you. You know what I mean? That's a joke, by the way, but hot like that. And you can only achieve that level of hotness if you boil water first and then dump it in there after you filled up the bath water. Right, yeah. And then I use the Dr. Teal's. I have two. It's like a foaming bath, eucalyptus and peppermint, little Dr. Teal's, right? And you put that in there and it makes a little bit of bubbles, but not really. It's more Epsom salty, but I also have Epsom salt too. And I like to sprinkle 2 of those in there as well. And that really, not just like to marinate in there for like an hour, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Dim the lights a little bit. Well, the bathroom lights don't really dim, so I kind of unscrew like 2 out of 4 bulbs slightly so it'll be dark. And then I just, sit down. And yeah, I feel okay now, but I was going through it, So, but I'm good. Well, when I was doing the dishes, I was thinking to myself, because, I like to think about certain topics because it's a very stationary job, right? You sit in one spot and you wash dishes, and I like to think about different topics. And today I was thinking about how, how society, you see it on TikTok a lot, how society has really pushed this little goon society epidemic. And gooning is just another word for jacking off. That's how you say jacking off in today's slang, just gooning. And it kind of pissed me off. Not really, but it kind of makes me a bit disappointed, because the world has slowly made it the norm, you know what I mean? And it's not really normal, you know what I mean? And before, it used to be just like a hidden thing that you didn't tell nobody, but nowadays they really push it out there and as disguised as like a joke or something, you know what I mean? And I guess I don't really like that. And I guess it's really what's on social media, what people, kids and the teens are watching these days. Even the streamers, there are good streamers, right? That I don't really have no qualms with, but there are also bad streamers disguised as good streamers, you know what I mean? Typically, this is how the bullshit go, you know what I mean? You ever watch a streamer and they're always streaming by themselves for the longest, and that's when you enjoy them? Mind you, I don't really watch streamers like that. They pop up on my TikTok, and that's how I know who the streamers are. But I don't get on Twitch and just sit and watch people, you know what I mean? That's not my thing. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh, you ever watch a streamer and it's just them solo for the longest, and then suddenly when they get into live streaming, they start streaming with like a bunch of thoughts and e-whores and OnlyFans people. They're just there. The reason why they do that, why that happens, is because that streamer has a lot of views on them, and they think when they go and they collab with these people that it siphons people to go buy their OnlyFans. You know what I'm talking about? Because there's a huge OnlyFans culture going on right now that I don't really like, but you can't really do anything about it. But yeah, and that's how you know that if a streamer is good to watch or not. The moment all the the moment all the OnlyFans people start appearing around them and they're trying to just still play like it's all cool, they're just trying to siphon the children and teens in their audience to go spend money on their OnlyFans. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Think about, and I don't watch stuff like this too, but you know, the red pill content, you know what I mean? When they just invite a whole bunch of OnlyFans people to go sit on their, and they just talk and say how they're dumb they are and how you should do this and that. The reason why they're doing that is because the people, they know that's how they get their check. That's how they get their money. You know, this channel, I'll just, for instance, let's just say the whatever people, the whatever podcast people, they get their money by inviting bimbos to just call them stupid for like an hour, right? And that's what gets them their money. And the bimbos they invited, they get their money because they know that this platform has a huge audience of people and lonely males that are going to go spend money on them. You know what I mean? It's just a never even feedback loop. They're siphoning, you call them stupid, sluts and tramps, and then they, you know, the audience, the lonely males in the audience give them their money. You know what, you get what I'm trying to say? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. The streamers do this. The whatever podcast people do this. The Marvin, what's the word I'm looking for? Windows Defender summary. Oh yeah, no, I'm good. Anyways, that's why I say it all the time. It's important to not get too wrapped up in the red pill content. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, these people aren't good. They only cipher the same teachings, right? And this is all of them. This is every single one of them. Even if they're likable, even if they have likable traits or things you like about them, ultimately they're bad to listen to, and they're bad for you to have. The fresh and fit people, all of them, they're bad for you to have them as a sort of role model. You know what I mean? Like, think of it like this: they teach you stuff like, you know. What's an easier way to say this? They teach you stuff about what's happening in society, and it makes you, if you're really into it, it makes you put that blanket of what they're teaching you onto your own reality. You know what I'm talking about? So, kind of like this. You wouldn't watch Bad Girls Club and then be like, oh yeah, this is what they're like. This is how the women are like this. It's like, no, you're watching this. This is just Bad Girls Club. You kind of have to have that same mentality when tuning into stuff like that as well. Because at the end of the day, it's just like a show, but you don't watch it on TV anymore because everyone's moved to the internet. You have to think of it like that. Your brain can't be glue when you're watching content like that, you know what I mean? Because it's just gonna make you feel horrible. You're not supposed to. You can't. You just can't let stuff stick to you in your mind like that, and then project that onto reality. Because it's really not like that at all. You can't watch that stuff. You can watch that stuff, but just don't think it's real. You know what I mean? Because it's a never-ending feed. But think about it. Think about all the streamers that were good streamers, but then suddenly all the OnlyFans hoes started popping up around them. It's just to trick their audience. You know what I mean? That's the deal. They want to put this impressionable, you know, thing on teens and the kids. You know, that's what they do. And just got to be a little bit smarter, you know. Now everyone has gooning addictions. You know, and for me, I don't even think I have a porn addiction. I wouldn't really call it, I can't speak for everyone, but I wouldn't really call it a porn addiction. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I'm no saint. I maybe like 3 times a week for about maybe 2 minute window, just so I can just do that, you know. But here's the thing though. I don't think that's an addiction at all. It's not healthy, I don't think porn is healthy at all. But it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? The reason why I don't think it's an addiction for me is because when I was in my tutorial relationship, that lasts me 3 months, when I was, what I said on my last podcast, my previous episode, when I was in the tutorial, I didn't have a need to watch porn or anything, or even just to masturbate at all, at all, for the whole 3 months, because I had someone there. And I think it's because a lot of men these days are lonely, and so they're just looking for a space to fill that loneliness. And people do that. They do that. They think they try to escape to porn. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. It's kind of like that. When you see those toys where the triangle goes here and the square goes here and the circle goes here. When you don't have anyone, then you don't know where to put. You don't know what to put in that circle. Fit in that little box. And so people do porn there. But when I was in my one relationship, I didn't even. It completely subsided. That's why I don't think it's an addiction for me. I just think it just has to be like a little. What's the word? Just like a little backhand effect from loneliness or whatever. But yeah. But I couldn't be the type of person that now people, they spend money on that type of stuff, and I think that's really stupid. I think you deserve to get made fun of when you do stuff like that, because there's no reason you'd have to spend money to go get that sort of stuff. It's in abundance everywhere. If you scroll on Instagram comments too long, you'll see it. You know what I mean? So I think those people do have addictions, and I think you deserve to get made fun of, because I couldn't spend my hard-earned money, and I couldn't go to work, right, and get my hard-earned money and then go just throw it at some tramp on the internet. That is crazy. Never. I don't care how, what's the word? I don't give a crap how normal it becomes in society 20 years, 30 years down the road. For as long as I am breathing and I am alive on this luscious green earth, I will never just give some tramp on the internet my money. Because it's my money. It's my money and I need it now. But yeah, people don't see it like that, Some people are they have gooning addictions, yo. They have gooning addictions. But you see how they sold it to them, though. It's because when they were just impressionable kids and teens on the internet, watching stuff like Fresh and Fit, whatever podcasts, all the alpha male stuff, to be honest. They sell you that. Don't say it's not true, because it is. I'm always listening to stuff like that. But when I listen to stuff like that, I don't take none of it with me. You gotta look at that stuff like an episode of Bad Girls Club. It's just some stupid whores arguing, and that's what it is. You gotta be smart enough to let that go, I notice, if you're a person that knows how to think for themselves, then you're gonna be alright. But kids are impressionable, and I feel like it's tainted society a bit, And corporations and the stuff that in Google and all that, they don't really care. They just wanna make their money, So it has to be up to you. If you have kids of your own, or just gotta really monitor what they're watching, and I think a lot of people nowadays, when they have kids, they don't really, they just give them a tablet and they go fuck off, and they're not monitoring or seeing what their kids are watching and all this other stuff, because they just want to be rich, they don't want to. If the tablet makes the baby stop crying, then you got to give them that tablet, is what they think, And that's what they do. But have you ever seen those videos of them removing the tablet from their 3-year-old and they go into this screaming, terrifying tantrum? That's why. That's why. Because you were giving them that tablet when they was fucking 6 months old, and their brains aren't even, it's still mush. It doesn't even know. It's terrifying, honestly. I wouldn't do that, though. I couldn't do that, though. when I have kids, they won't even know a tablet exists. They won't have a clue, because the bedroom is gonna look like a '90s bedroom, like a Super Nintendo or like a Sega or something, and a tiny little bookshelf of books and VHS tapes and stuff like that on VCR. It's good for you. You can call me Unc or whatever, but it was a healthier time back then. The internet and society, it wasn't like, back then the internet was just a little corner in the room you'd go to, a little computer that you check for like an hour. Check your MySpace, your profile comments, or your Facebook and your ancient YouTube, your prehistoric YouTube, and see what was going on. Smosh, Annoying Orange, stuff like that. But then you got off and you went outside. And I feel like if you raise a kid like that, then they'd have no problem. You know what I mean? If you have to raise a kid like how you were raised, with the technology you were brought up in. You weren't brought up with tablets and VRs and stuff. So why would you expose a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old or whatever to that? You don't even know. The funny thing about this is, like, they're still doing the studies for this stuff on how it affects your brain and stuff. It's still not even out yet. We are the test subjects, We won't know until like 20, 30, 40 years from now when the stuff comes out. But they're still running tests on this stuff to this day. We're the test subjects, just like what it is for like drugs and all this other stuff. Like, you're the test subject. But yeah, man. I mean, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do stuff like that. Another thing I'm not a fan of, I said it on TikTok earlier, like the people, like the Miss Rachel and and don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure she's a fantastic human being, okay? And what she's doing is, she's ultimately doing a lot of good, but I just don't like this era of parenting. You see it everywhere now. I even seen it with my nephews. I see it with other people's kids too. Parenting aren't parenting anymore, They just turn on the TV and have someone on YouTube do it for them, And I don't like that. It feels a bit dystopian, all the kids are watching this same thing. You go to a daycare or something and they're watching it. It feels a bit dystopian. That's why I gotta shield. If I have kids, I gotta shield them from that. I gotta shield them from all this. That's why I'm practicing not being on my phone that much either. Well, I don't really have an attachment to my phone. That's the funny part. I don't really have an attachment to my phone. In fact, my phone background, it's just some app, right, that I've turned into a widget, and it's completely black with the words, they're white, and it's just messages, photos, Safari, notes, settings, ChatGPT, and then the rest of the phone is black. The background's black. The apps are all deleted. I only have TikTok. That's it. Chunk House Shoe, I shut it down. I guess I do have Lemon 8 because that's attached to TikTok. They're linked together, but I don't have Lemon 8 on my phone. It's just TikTok here. That's it. And maybe eBay and Amazon and the Pokemon card collecting game, because I like to open it every now and then and swipe it to unlock get some cards, because they give you 2 free ones. 2 free packs a day, and I gotta get those packs, because they're free, and I don't spend money on video games. Let me rephrase that. I spend money on video games for full games, but I don't spend money on, like, gacha games or, this whole entire, you've played a mobile app game, you know what I'm talking about. Stuff like that. I don't do stuff like that. I think the first game I ever spent money on was when I was in high school, and it was a game called Brave Frontier. Oh, God, I love Brave Frontier. It's shut down now, but that was one of the very first gacha games I had ever played in my life, and this is before Genshin Impact was a thing. This was like right at the birth of gacha games. I played Brave Frontier a lot. And I was like level 200 something. I used to spend money on it because you can summon to get characters. Look it up, it's good. It was a good game. Oh man, I miss Brave Frontier. It's very nostalgic now. Every time I think about it, I get a bit sad. Yeah. That was a really good mobile gacha game. And even now that it's been shut down and it's been a couple years, when I don't know, it's not the same. Other mobile games try to come out, and it's the one that was made by Gumi, by the way, Brave Frontier. But other mobile games try to come out and do the same thing they're doing, like Last Claudia, stuff like that. But it just doesn't hit the same, you know what I mean? The reason why I played Brave Frontier for so long was because I spent money on it. When I was in high school, me and the B-boys, we used to go to the corner store and buy the Google Play cards to buy gems, and and we'll just summon a whole bunch of characters, and sometimes you got good stuff, sometimes you got trash, but that's okay. I think if I never would have spent gems on that game, I probably wouldn't have never played it for so long that I did. But man, I really do miss that game. But yeah, anyways, as I was saying, I don't know. I want to, if I do have a kid, I want to try to replicate the way I grew up, the devices I had, you know. But that also, it does this for me too, you know what I mean? I was saying because I haven't been on my phone. I don't be on my phone like that. I got to practice not being on my phone too, you know what I mean? Because your kid can't just be interacting with this thing, this person that's looking down on their screen all the time, you know what I mean? You got to get up and do the thing, you know. And I'm gonna I want them to I'll find a bunch of them on VHS, but I also know how to rip them from the Internet Archive. All the old shows that can't be found anymore, they're somewhere in the Internet Archive, and you can I'm from the era of burning DVDs and CD. I'm good. I know how to do that stuff, you know. Probably ancient tech to you, but for me, that's easy. Right, because I was burning DVDs and songs and putting music on my iPhone when I was like 7 or 8 on Windows Media Player. Right, everybody was doing it. We was stealing songs off the internet and making CDs and getting a black Sharpie and being like, yeah, this right here is this is Ludacris, and this is what's the album called? We used to be like, we'd burn it. Let me see. Let me look it up. There we go. Yeah, it'd be a blank CD with markings on it. This is that Ludacris Chicken and Beer, right? And it worked. You put it in your car, and it worked. I think that's the one that had that roll out, bum 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 bum, roll out, dun dun, roll out. I was just now talking to my sister about that song because when she was a kid, when she was a baby, she liked that song. And it was when my mom had that red Camry. And she'd always react positively when we played it in the back of the car. And so I was talking to her the other day, and she was like, yeah, I have that song on my playlist. And we thought it was pretty interesting how you could hear a song when you were a kid and still listen to it when you're 15 years, 16 years, 17 years later, right? And it's almost like a time capsule, you know? But yeah, I'm gonna burn. I was thinking about that, collecting VHS tapes and stuff of my old shows. The only VHS tapes I have is Sailor Moon, because I had got them. I have the Sailor Moon, the full seasons in Blu-ray and DVD or whatever. I have them, and then I have the old ones. That was the Deke dub. That's the one that's funny. I have all those too. And I got the VHS tapes off someone from what's the word? One of these foreign Asian countries, you know. They shipped it to me on eBay, a whole box of them. And I was like, bet. And so they're behind me. They're down there. On my little, where I keep my DVDs and stuff. They're right there. But I don't have a VCR player. I want to get a VCR player. And then let's see. I seen this TV that I really liked on TikTok. It looks like a microwave. Oh, dude, I fell in love with it. It's a CRT TV. Man, it's a cool ass TV. I think it's a if I remember, it's the Panasonic. It was by Panasonic. The Panasonic AG500. It's a CRT TV, but it looks like a microwave. I love stuff like that. It's totally different from your average CRT TV. Usually it's just some black box. I did scroll down that TikTok page of the user that was showing us stuff with that TV. That's something I missed too. CRT TVs, they would kind of get a ring when you turn them on. You get like a distant ring in your head, and it's harmless. It's a harmless ring. And after the TV was on for a long time, maybe like an hour and 2 hours, when you turned it off, you get these and you press your hand on the TV, you get like this static on your hands, right? And you could like move your hand around and it's just like, it was static, and that's something that just disappeared if you don't have CRT TV, because we don't have CRT TVs that much anymore. They're not in demand. Everything's flat screen, and you don't have that with a flat screen anymore. It's just something that's completely gone. But only there for you if you still have one. Yeah. But yeah, I was having a little panic attack at work, so I'm okay now. I'm pretty solid. Trying to think of some more stuff. I started reading Nier Automata. I finally got all 3 books. Long story short, short story long, and Your Boys. I wanted to get a bookshelf, but I only have 4 books, so I'm trying to really contain myself. But I really do like reading these days. I was talking about, I think that was something because I read the Aerith and Tifa, the Tifa and Aerith, the Final Fantasy remake book, Traces of Two Paths. I finally read it, and I thought it was interesting, very interesting. I enjoyed it a lot, but it was cool because did I talk about this on the podcast? I don't even know. But the last time I read a book was when Hunger Games came out, right? And it was a book, and everybody was going to the movies to see the first Hunger Games. I read the book. I still have the book. It's somewhere up here. But I bought that in like 2008-ish or 2009, and I read that. And then I read Justin Bieber's Just Getting Started, because that's a book too. And I still have that book too. But that was the last book I read in like a long time. Like to read an actual book, and the Aerith and Tifa book had like 400 something pages. I read the whole thing, dude. It's crazy. I haven't read a book like that in like maybe 15, 14, long ass time, I'll tell you that much. I will tell you that much. But it made me really miss reading. That's why I bought the Nier Automata books, because I want to read those. Because I like the game. It's interesting. I read the first 20 something pages of the first one. It's a lot of smart words in there, you know what I mean? Robotic-y. Mission this, analysis of the data, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it's gonna take some getting used to reading like that. I like Jeremy Lay. She's the one I shared it on TikTok a while back. She's the one why I bought these books, because she's the voice actor of A2, but she's also the voice actor of Sailor Venus and Sailor Moon, and I already like the Sailor Moon show, and so that's how I know her. But she's also Makoto from Persona 5 as well, so that's how I know her as well. But I needed her to read it so I can get an idea of where her voice is, so she can her voice can narrate some of the stuff I read, when I get to the part where it talks about her character, you know what I mean? I feel like it's easier to read stuff that way. You know what I mean? That's what I was doing with the Tifa and Aerith book. I already know what they sound like, and so when it got to their parts, it's the voice of Tifa reading it in my, you know what I mean, or the voice of Aerith, I'm really good with sounds and voices. If I know you, or if I already met you, I can probably pick out your voice in a crowded, you know what I mean? Because I know you. It's like a database, you know what I mean? If I heard your voice before, I'll probably remember what your voice sounds like forever. Which is beautiful or sad, or I don't know. It's something I can do. Something I can do. So, let's see, we're 30 minutes in. What else do I want to talk about? When I was also washing dishes, I was thinking about how, what was I thinking about? I was thinking about like relationships and stuff, and what led, it was like a web, right? I was thinking about my tutorial relationship, because I got there on the subject of gooning, and then I was thinking about how, I don't know, it's so weird. When it comes to, because people, they like to fall in love when they get in a relationship. I assume that's what they do because people make songs about it, you know. But I guess I don't think I was very in love or anything with my tutorial relationship, right? Didn't really feel nothing. And even when I broke it off, I didn't really feel nothing. And people say, because it's different for guys, it's gonna come maybe 3 months or 2 months from now, but it still didn't do anything, you know what I mean? So it's got me thinking that I don't really know what that feels like, you know what I mean? Like, let's see, I only understand feelings past like liking someone and then just being disappointment with rejection. I only understand stuff like that, you know what I mean? Just around that area. But I don't understand, how do I say this? Alright, think of it this way, right? People can sleep with each other, and I can sleep with people and not feel anything. It's easier for me to sleep with people who I don't give a shit about, you know what I mean? Because I don't feel anything. But if I actually like someone, it's very difficult for me to do anything with them, you know what I mean? Not difficult, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know, man. I react differently. I handle it differently when it comes to persons that I like or that I'm genuinely interested in, if that makes sense. Versus if I don't give a shit about them, it's easier for them to just be, you know, an afterthought for me, you know what I mean? So I don't really know what happens. I don't know. I've never been in love with someone and done the deed before. That's never happened to me. So I can't really relate to it or know what it really feels like, you know? Which is sad. Which is very sad. It's only ever been with people I just don't really give a shit about. And yeah, which is also very sad. Sorry. But I know it's something, you know, it must feel crazy or something because people make songs about it. So, yeah. Anyways, it's 1:17. I took a bath. I soaked. Sipping my tea. I think I'm probably gonna just end it here. 34 minutes. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about. I'm still boxing. Oh, that's someone in the kitchen. I was like, oh my god, someone's outside. I'm gonna have to spring into action. But no, that was someone in the kitchen. Anyways, yeah, I'm probably gonna be signing off. I finally finished my bed, decorating my bed. Got all 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 black curtains. The mattress top, not a topper, but it's that thing that goes on. It's like a sheep, but it goes on the top of your bed, your canopy bed. So it's pitch black in there. I really like it. But I did install some lights, some cool little lights at the top of the ceiling. So it looks cool. It's 3 of them. Is it 3 of them? I think it's like 4 of them. I don't know. And then I bought a lava lamp. And so there's that. And then I got, my heated blanket art stuff. It's good. It's coming together. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to talk about. No, I'm probably gonna just end it here. Quick 35-minute. Okay, so I don't know if you're sleeping, then make sure you sleep okay and you have good dreams and you sleep with a fan on, so you're slightly chill. But you could also put your leg out, one leg in the cover and then one leg out. And I think it's pretty comfortable to sleep that way. It's like the perfect body temp. You know what I mean? And then if you're driving home, then drive home safe and get home safe, and don't cause any accidents, and make sure you're using your blinkers and stuff like that, and don't hit a pedestrian, because they're like deers. They'll just jump right out at you. So you gotta be careful. And all right, y'all have a good one. Good night.